Hello, I am Damonous, and this video is about how no good deed goes unpunished, apparently. So, this week, the big news is that Carrier, the air conditioning manufacturer and heating manufacturer, is actually going to keep a large number of the jobs it is planning to move to Mexico in the U.S., in Indiana. So going back in time, on February 16th, 2016, that was the day, or around the day when they announced that they were going to be moving, I think something like 1,400 jobs to Mexico. And this was because Mexican workers, they can pay them $3 a day. I think it's a day, actually. It says an hour here, I think I read. But they can pay them minimal, like, a sixth of what they pay Americans at the very minimum, right? So $20 an hour they have to pay Americans. So at the time, Donald Trump had basically vowed that he would tax carry air conditioning units for moving to Mexico, tax them on the import, basically. And Governor Pence at the time had also mentioned Governor Pence, the vice president to be, vice president elect, said that he was profoundly disappointed. Well, fast forward, what is that, 10 months? And then we have the announcement, earlier this week that Carrier was going to keep the jobs in the U.S. And everyone seemed to be happy about this. And, I think this article from Bloomberg basically says it pretty well, actually, here, although it's funny, what they said later. Donald Trump isn't even president yet, but in the span of just 12 days, he's twice claimed victory in getting major U.S. corporations, Ford and Carrier, to keep manufacturing jobs in America. So, I think this is great. I don't remember when a president-elect actually got constructive things done even before taking office. And this is some pretty important stuff. I mean, you figure these people were on the cusp of being laid off here right for the holidays. So, but then we've already got people saying that if Congress wants to erect some kind of financial Berlin Wall that prevents U.S. companies from locating productive assets abroad, let them pass a law. But let's not have our president bullying U.S. companies to retreat from global supply chains and global markets. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that's funny. Because really, the people that are being hurt by the reduction of global supply chains and global markets are those who are invested in global supply chains and global markets. So, getting further into it, then it's funny. So there is some art to this deal, right? So Carrier's going to be getting $7 million in tax breaks, and some people are saying here, it's really just buying them off. This one's great here. It says Keith Boykin labeled the company receiving tax incentives to keep jobs in the state as a form of economic blackmail. And you know what? I'm all for economic blackmail. It's about time we did this. But, I think the thing is here, this article is kind of putting it in a negative aspect that, well, we're buying them off. We're giving them tax subsidies. Well, you know what? We're giving tax subsidies in very many districts, cities, all across the U.S., all the time. And I'm sure that Carrier already had some tax breaks in Indiana or wherever else they're located. But that wasn't enough, and they were going to move. They decided against it when not only did they get an additional tax break, but they had the eye of the public on them, and they had someone like Trump bringing the attention and focus on this. So Politico also basically references something from Wall Street Journal that just came out. And, again, it's putting it in a negative light, saying, a mercantilist Trump trade policy that jeopardized those exports would throw far more Americans out of work than the relatively low-paying jobs he's preserved now in Indianapolis. This might even cause more U.S. jobs if it makes CEOs more reluctant to build plants in the U.S. because it would be politically difficult to close them. Well, I think what we're talking about here, and the whole reason why Trump won, I think, is because it's about people being tired of this ridiculous double think in philosophy. It's like, let's not worry about these companies not building plants here because they might not be able to export from another country into here. Let's face it, the world wants to sell products in the USA. These companies that are going out of the USA want to sell their products in the USA. So let's make it hard for them to build things outside of the USA. I'm all for that. Wall Street Journal, let's just take a quick look here. I can't remember if there's anything more. I think that was a quote from the Wall Street Journal article, but Mr. Trump has now muscled his way into at least 2 corporate decisions about where and how to do business. But who would you rather have making a decision about where to make furnaces or cars? A company whose profitability depends on making good decisions, or a branding executive turned politician who wants to claim political credit? I'd rather, let me answer that question, Wall Street Journal. I would rather have someone who is not so bad at making profits that they have to go overseas or to some other country in order to get profits, because this I think that's exactly the point here. Who would you rather have making a decision? Not the ones who are purely interested in profit. I think that's who we want making the decisions. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Catch you next time.